In modern pop culture, second chances are usually earned through tragedy. A protagonist is sent back in time and immediately begins a frantic sprint to fix mistakes, optimize their finances, or exact revenge. The second life is treated as a high-stakes mission where every second must be weaponized. Elias lived a life that required no such fixing. He worked a steady job and loved his family, eventually passing away at 84 with the quiet satisfaction of a man who had seen enough sunsets. He died without a list of what-ifs. When he wakes up in his 20-year-old body, there is no magical system to guide him and no world-ending threat to stop. He is simply back in his old dorm room. The stakes are gone. He is now a man with the soul of an 80-year-old, dropped back into the high-pressure environment of a modern university. He is surrounded by people who feel their entire future depends on the next 4 years of performance. Elias faces the fiction of a culture that treats youth as a race toward a finish line he has already crossed. The conflict comes from the noise of a society that views status as the only metric of success. Elias chooses a different path. He ignores the career fairs and the frantic networking events. He doesn't look for a way to get ahead because he already knows where that road leads. His first move is purely physical. He goes for a long walk, focusing on the simple, mechanical grace of knees that no longer ache and a back that moves without a hint of stiffness. This diagram compares the two internal worlds on campus. The top timeline shows the frantic milestones his peers are chasing, each node representing a spike in cortisol. The bottom timeline is Elias's, a steady, uninterrupted fomacazant. Perspective acts as his primary advantage. He has already survived the anxieties of growing up, which allows him to move through the world with a calm that his classmates cannot yet access. This calm changes how he interacts with his past. When an old rival tries to pull him into a heated argument, a fight that originally lasted for months, Elias simply nods and moves on. He no longer feels the need to win. His peers are drowning under these metrics. The pressure to secure internships and clout pushes their stress into a critical red zone. Elias opts out. He works at a plant nursery, hauling soil simply because he missed the smell of wet dirt and the feeling of honest physical labor. This choice removes him from the social ladder entirely. He finds a quiet rhythm that the noise of the campus can no longer disrupt. His lack of ambition becomes a source of confusion for his roommates. While they stay up until 3 a.m. worrying about resumes, they see Elias sitting on the porch, content to just watch the clouds move. Slowly, his room becomes a sanctuary. He gives his stressed-out peers the kind of advice an old man would give. He tells them to eat a real meal, to sleep with their windows open, and to remember that most of what they fear today won't matter in a decade. In an environment where everyone is trying to be extraordinary, a person who is genuinely comfortable being ordinary becomes a powerful, grounding presence. The limit of this comfort is tested when Elias sees a young woman across the quad, the woman who was his wife for 50 years in his previous life. The easiest thing to do would be to approach her. He knows her favorite coffee, the books that make her cry, and the exact jokes that make her laugh. He could recreate their entire history from scratch. But as he watches her, he realizes she is currently a person with her own agency and her own fresh future. If he uses his knowledge to win her over, he isn't loving her, he is managing her. He chooses to let her walk away, shown here as the open path to the right. By choosing silence, Elias allows her to remain the author of her own story, rather than a character in his second draft. It is the most honest way he can honor the person she is becoming. Elias eventually faces the temptation of wealth. He knows which startups will explode and which stocks will surge. He has the blueprint to become a billionaire before he turns 30. He plots the cost in his head. As his wealth climbs the y-axis, the secondary line of complexity and exhaustion climbs exponentially alongside it. He knows that managing an empire would consume the very time he came back to enjoy. He decides to pass on the fortune. He secures a job that pays enough for a small home and a reliable car, purposefully capping his growth to protect his peace. This comfortable middle-class path serves as a defense against the burnout inherent in the chase for more. Elias spends his new life on the small things. He focuses on the rhythm of baking sourdough, the taste of a well-made meal, and the simple pleasure of watching the rain without feeling like he's wasting time. Maintaining a simple life in an age of constant notification requires a deliberate, daily defense. He isn't living this way because he lacks ambition. He is living this way because he has identified exactly what he values. You don't need a second life or future knowledge to adopt this perspective. The ability to stop optimizing every waking hour is a skill that can be practiced in the life you have right now. Contentment doesn't require a cosmic miracle. It only requires the courage to step off the treadmill and appreciate the coffee in your hand before it gets cold.